party in 254 in a yard extra niceness of reggae music,
extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice,
we have to do it twice.
I'm a grown-up. I want to handle things my own way.
Well, doing drugs is on another level.
Kuna siku moja ambayo nitaamka na itafufuka.
Na pia jenje ikiwa kila mtu alikuwa nyumbani.
I have this great idea which I feel like it will work out.
Idea nini tena?
I was thinking we all move into this house and then we rent the other house.
Sometimes nyamazanga, kazi ingine ya mdomo ni kunyamaza.
Aina wewe unashinanga tu na hiyo mood. Kwa sawa?
From the 7th to 9th October 2025, the world turns to Nairobi as Kenya proudly hosts the 24th COMESA Summit of Heads of State and Government at the KICC, bringing together 21 member states, global partners and business leaders. This year's theme is leveraging digitalization to deepen regional value chains for sustainable and inclusive growth. With a population of 682 million and a GDP of over $1 trillion, COMESA is Africa's largest regional economic bloc, shaping trade, innovation, peace, and prosperity. The COMESA Summit 2025, live from KICC Nairobi, only on KBC Channel 1.
My name is Joseph Ogutu. I'm the County Secretary in the County Government of Siaya. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome delegates, exhibitors, investors, and partners to Siaya International Trade and Investment Conference, scheduled to take place from 14 to 17 October 2025 at the Siaya National Polytechnic. You are most welcome.
It's Huduma Customer Service Week. Please go and collect your ID for voter registration exercise.
That's right. Plus, live in studio, we host Mr. Charles Ochome, Chair of the Private Schools Association. Just the other day, it was World Teachers Day yesterday. As a matter of fact, the question we're asking is what gains have been made since independence? Are the grade 9 students ready to transition to grade 10?
Tom will be handling that interview shortly, but first, the highlights.
Nyota Youth Empowerment.
Government intensifies campaign to enlist youth in the National Youth Opportunities Towards Advancement. governors say?
Two-term. Wajir Governor Ahmed Abdullahi secures a second term as Council of Governors chairperson. ID vetting debate.
Deputy President Kithure Kindiki calls out his predecessor Rigathi Gachagua for criticizing the abolishment of ID vetting for northeastern residents.
Plus,
referendum versus parliament.
Busia residents reject a proposal to amend the constitution through parliamentary initiative. Thank you once again for joining us. A very warm welcome to this live broadcast. My name is Mboya.
I am Muchuma Odim. Our socials at KBC Channel 1 on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Our sign language expert tonight is Byron Abuli.
Straight to our lead story. The government has intensified a nationwide campaign to register more youth under the National Youth Opportunities Towards Advancement Nyota program, a flagship initiative aimed at equipping young Kenyans with skills, startup capital, and also work experience for self-reliance.
Principal secretaries led countrywide sensitization drives in Baringo, Kisumu, Homa Bay, Kericho, Isiolo, Uasin Gishu, and Kajiado counties, calling on the youth to seize the opportunity before the registration window closes on the 12th of October.
And that's the report that opens our coverage tonight.
The National Youth Opportunities Towards Advancement, otherwise known as Nyota project, is rolling out across the country, targeting 70 young people in each of the 1,450 wards across the country, with a grant of 50,000 shillings each to support small businesses and create jobs. In Kisumu, the Principal Secretary for Children's Services, Karen Ogola, urged youth to register for the initiative and save part of their 6,000 shilling monthly stipend as they undergo practical training in housing and infrastructure sectors.
The youth who are not employed, they will be skilled to allow them to get employment. Because you find that most employers, when they're looking for somebody, they say, what skills do you have? So if the youth do not have the skills, they cannot also be employed.
In Baringo, ICT PS John Tanui called on chiefs and local leaders to mobilize more applicants, noting that Nyota provides a pathway for innovation and digital jobs.
When this program was rolled out, the number of participants was very low. Where we need 70 people, you find we have 20 people. So we need to sensitize our young people about this program and also ensure that the targeted category can actually participate.
In Homa Bay, Interior PS Raymond Omolo said over 2,800 youth will benefit from 140 million shillings in grants under the business support component of the program.
The application is through a digital process. They need to dial *254# for them to get into the Nyota program. And within the Nyota program, as I've explained, there are several work streams, and we are starting with the business support work stream.
In Kericho, Agriculture PS Paul Rono led the sensitization drive at the Technical and Vocational College, emphasizing that Nyota is designed to empower vulnerable youth, including those who dropped out of school.
We felt that this team are very disadvantaged. We are not saying the other youth are not taken care of. There are other programs to take care of other youth who have qualification.
In Isiolo, Petroleum PS Mohammed Liban launched the project targeting 700 beneficiaries drawn from the county's 10 wards.
We have now given them from tonight up to 12 so that they'll be able now to enroll to make sure that at least we get a minimum of 70 youths, and these 70 must be 50-50 so that girls cannot be left behind and the boys can also hand together.
1,450.
In Uasin Gishu, MSME Development PS Susan Mangeni reaffirmed the government's commitment to youth empowerment, announcing an extension of the registration deadline to October 12th.
The final selection will be dependent on how you perform on entrepreneurial aptitude test, where you are taken through some exercise, some few questions just to gauge at the level of your understanding in the sector that you want to take in.
In Narok, Principal Secretary for Tourism John Olotua urged young people to seize the Nyota program opportunity to grow their businesses and gain vital life skills.
The reason why it was taken to the world level is to ensure that at least every youth is represented, and it also caters for those with disability, because the ones with disability have been given, we had said the program targets 18 to 29, but the people with disability have given up to 35 years of age. They can be able to qualify to apply. With the government racing against time to close the registration window on October 12th, officials say the National Youth Opportunities Towards Advancement Nyota program, being implemented at the cost of 5 billion shillings, seeks to turn job seekers into job creators across all the 47 counties. Ben Chumba, Prime Edition.
Staying with the sensitization forum, the government has refuted claims that the National Opportunities Towards Advancement project, dubbed Nyota, is discriminatory based on age and educational qualification.
While speaking in Nairobi, Land's Principal Secretary Nixon Korir says that the program targeting over 820,000 will be transparent and all inclusive.
Joseph Wafungu has the details.
Sensitization on the second phase of the government's flagship National Opportunities Towards Advancement kicked off Monday, targeting 70 beneficiaries aged 18 to 29 years from all 1,450 wards countrywide on a 5 billion shillings grant. In Nairobi County, the exercise was presided over by Land's Principal Secretary Nixon Korir at Kareko Social Hall.
I think in the next presentation, I will bring the statistics of the Kenyans who dropped out of Class 2, of Class 8, of Form 2, and all the way to Form 4. And yet they have families, and yet they have school fees to pay, and yet it is the responsibility of government to give them opportunity.
In Kajiado, Irrigation PS Ephantas Kimotho, who led the exercise, warned that hundreds of Hustler Fund defaulters will not be eligible for the Nyota grants. Kimotho urged people living with disability in Kajiado County to seize opportunities and benefit from the grants.
Thus, the program is considering the youth who reached Form 4 and didn't pursue further studies after that, and also for those who have some debts in Hustler Fund also may not qualify.
There are startups.
In Kitui County, Livestock Development Principal Secretary Jonathan Mweke urged locals to embrace the Nyota program and ignore naysayers who criticize the government's projects being initiated in the area.
As long as umekuwa na hiyo requirements ya umefinyika sana, yani uko hali mbaya sana kimaisha, kiuchumi, hii mradi unaweza qualify.
Prior learning policy.
Meanwhile, in Kiambu, Correctional Services Principal Secretary Dr. Salome Biako says the Nyota initiative is part of a broader government effort to tackle unemployment by equipping young Kenyans with practical skills and resources to build their own livelihoods.
The project also promotes a sustainable savings culture among the youth through mandatory saving of 12% for both business support and on-job experience beneficiaries, which will be matched up if they continue building up on their savings.
And in Meru, the sensitization on Nyota project was conducted by Diaspora Affairs PS Rosalind Jogu, who asked leaders to mobilize the youth and apply in large numbers.
Get young people to do this application. It is available on the phone. It does not have to be a smartphone. A simple feature Mulikamwizi type phone is going to work.
In Kirinyaga County, Public Health and Professional Standards Principal Secretary Mary Mudhoni says the Nyota program was in line with the government's bottom-up economic transformational agenda, a key promise made by President William Ruto to uplift vulnerable groups and promote self-reliance among the youth.
And also, when you look at Nyota, it is aligning with the better pillars: agriculture transformation, MSMEs, digital superhighway, the creative industry, healthcare, housing, and exactly where Kirinyaga is strong.
While in Makueni, Aviation Principal Secretary Terry Mbaika challenged young people in the county to take advantage of the grants to uplift their livelihoods.
We'll be opening the portal from midnight for 6 days so that we encourage and have those who have been left behind to be in a position to apply. We do not want to leave any part of this country behind.
Joseph Ohungu for Prime Edition.
Let's stay with the Nyota story, and at least 3,150 youth in Kisii County are set to benefit from the National Youth Opportunities Towards Advancement Nyota program.
Principal Secretary for Broadcasting and Telecommunications, Stephen Isaboke, who presided over the sensitization program, urged young people to enroll as a pathway to economic empowerment.
Now, JJ Curia puts that empowerment story in perspective.
PS Isaboke says the Nyota program will offer basic skills training, recognition of prior learning, and that the initiative is a government response to Kenya's growing youth population, which presents a significant employment challenge.
What is going to happen after this? Between tonight, midnight, today's 6th, or just beginning of 7th, midnight, to 12th of October, the eligible youth will actually enroll or register for this program online. And then come 17th of October, we shall again come back, and I shall be in Kisii myself, just like my colleagues will be everywhere in the country, to ensure that we've gotten these numbers, especially targeting 70 youth per ward.
In Mandera, the Principal Secretary National Government Coordination, Ahmed Ibrahim, said 2,100 youth from 30 wards are expected to benefit from the program.
Ours is to request the youth to make sure that they benefit from this very important project. Like I have said, it has the project has 3 pathways to job creation and empowerment. The first one is the on-job experience placement, where we are providing technical and life skills with apprenticeship and the craftsmen and employers. It targets 90,000 youth.
Technical and Vocational Education and Training PS Dr. Esther Moria, who was in Embu, said the registration for the Nyota program in the county was very low, encouraging youth to take advantage of the extended registration period.
There is a decision that our young people should be facilitated in knowledge as well as other resources such as funds to be able to support themselves, because we want to get rid as government of idleness among the youth by facilitating them through knowledge, as well as advancing them a space of up to 50,000 to be able to start businesses that are requisite to them.
While Siaya County has also recorded low participation, PS for Medical Services Dr. Uma Oluga, who led the exercise, urged local leaders to mobilize youth, especially vulnerable groups and those affected by teenage pregnancies.
In the first registration, which happened in March, this is one of the counties that the response was dismal, and so the people who registered could not progress to being trained because of this dismal registration. We want a lot of people, and so we want to do everything, all hands on deck, to make sure that we get our youth.
Elsewhere, Cabinet Affairs Principal Secretary Dr. Idris Dakota said the Nyota funds are not loans. The PS who was in Tana River said the funds are grants aimed at both skilled and unskilled youth.
Tunahamasisha vijana wetu wa Kenya na wa Tana River kwa jumla kwamba mpango wa Nyota ni ukweli, si uongo. So wajitokeze, waende wakafinye simu zao *254# waweze kuapply na wapate hizo pesa.
Tunataka waonekane na wafanyiwe verification, alafu pesa zikuwe released. Hii pesa hautapewa tu bure, kutakuwa na training pia.
And in Migori County, youth with outstanding government loans have been advised to clear their balances to remain eligible for the Nyota grant.
As the other leaders also engaged elsewhere in this Kenya,
to make sure that we sensitize our leadership to go down to the ground and identify for us, assist our youth, 70 per ward, to make sure that they engage themselves in this program.
While in Kilifi County, PS for Youth Affairs Fikirini Jacobs rallied support for the program, highlighting its focus on skills training, job experience and entrepreneurship.
Mradi wa Nyota ni mradi wenye utakao gharimu serikali bilioni 20 katika kutekeleza. Na katika hizi bilioni 20 tunalenga kufikia vijana 820,000 young people, young vulnerable youths.
John Jacob Curia, Prime Edition.
To other developments, President William Ruto has hailed Major Retired Marsden Madoka for living up to the spirit of his memoir, in which he shares his journey in public service.
That memoir, launched on Monday, shares his personal journey as well as the essence of a generation whose selfless acts shaped Kenya.
Through his story, Madoka seeks to share with future generations the country's history and the sacrifices made that paved the way for Kenya's progress.
Now, speaking at the launch, President Ruto said his memoir is a testament of his patriotism, as he has always stood ready to serve, ready to lead, and ready to sacrifice for country.
His memoir is dubbed At the Ready, a chronicle of Major Retired Madoka's remarkable journey from humble beginnings to the heights of public service and statesmanship at the very heart of government in State House.
His story reminds us that patriotism is not about words. It is about action, about the choices we make, and about the service we give each other every day, every time, and to humanity. When we read At the Ready, we do more than revisit history. We are invited to walk alongside Major Madoka through Kenya's journey, to see our country's story through the eyes of someone who stood right at the center of its making.
They embody our national philosophy, representing what we stand for and what we would fight for as a people. The reason that motivates soldier like me to defend our nation is encapsulated in our national flag, anthem, and loyalty.
18 minutes past the top of the hour. That story brings us to our first break here at Broadcasting House. Coming up,
that interview on education, also business and sports. Stay with us.
The SIA International Trade and Investment Conference is taking place between 15th and 17th of October 2025. We want to take this opportunity to invite all delegates, both local and international, all business persons of all cadres. We are also honored to have His Excellency the President as our chief guest during that period. And we anticipate getting much more visibility and support from both local and international investors to come and support this conference.
We are talking about a vehicle ownership. To many women, owning a car is all about convenience, safety, independence.
I think for me, car ownership is such a huge milestone because it is what we call, for most ladies, a big girl purchase. You've been working, you've put in effort, and finally you're committing to something that adds value to you as a woman in terms of independence.
When you are dealing
with a lady coming to buy a car and a man coming to buy a car. They are quite distinct. Now you wonder, what was she looking for?
Because she's looking for affordable and she's looking for something that is easy to maintain.
Yes. Now, when you take her to that position, she comes out of it immediately and say, no, this is too small.
There are no limits to what we can achieve except those we place on our own thinking. So the moment you think it, you can have it.
Welcome back to Prime Edition, our socials.
At KBC Channel 1 on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Now, Tom, on to that story we highlighted at the beginning of the broadcast.
That's right. The Council of Governors has dismissed, claims by the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union concerning death of 136 children in Kiambu County due to the ongoing doctors' strike.
According to the council, health services are ongoing in the county and the allegations are meant to tarnish the name of Kiambu Governor Kimani Wamatangi.
Meanwhile, the council has retained Wajir Governor Hamad Abdullahi to serve as its chairperson for a second term.
Wajir Governor Ahmed Abdullahi and Nyeri Governor Mutahi Kahiga will continue serving respectively as the chairperson and vice chairperson of the Council of Governors. Tharaka Nithi Governor Muthomi Njuki is the new COG whip. He replaces Stephen Sang of Nandi County, who becomes the chairperson of the Resource Mobilization and Partnerships Committee. During the session, the Council of Governors came to the defense of Kiambu Governor Kimani Wamatangi, who has been on the receiving end of alleged deaths in Kiambu hospitals as a result of the ongoing doctor strike.
The Council disassociates from the headline about the death of 136 babies and categorically states that it is not factual, it is pure witch hunt. The health function in Kiambu is functional. Kiambu has doctors in all its facilities and they are all on duty.
According to the Council of Governors chairperson Ahmed, the allegations are politically driven.
We urge the Ministry of Health and KMPDU to stop politicizing health, and you too appreciate that our politics is very toxic. But let's keep that toxic politics out of healthcare.
Abdullahi said counties should be given space to deliver on their mandate.
It's not supposed to be run from Avi House in Nairobi. We want to reiterate that health is a default function and we must be free of external forces that want to paint a bad picture of devolution.
The governors also took issue with the electronic government procurement system, saying services in counties are coming to a standstill.
And if any one county had been able to successfully, from end to end, procure even a pen on e-GPay, from where I sit as chair of council, believe you or no, it hasn't happened. But we have a court order, so I think it's been tried on the go.
The leaders will serve for a period of 1 year. Nancy Okware, Prime Edition.
Let's move from that story, the two-time echoes, to
Kindiki Garissa tour. Kenya Kwanza leaders led by Deputy President Kithure Kindiki have faulted Democracy for Citizens party leader Rigathi Gachagua over claims that the administration has an ulterior motive after abolishing identification card vetting for residents of the northeastern region ahead of the 2027 polls.
Well, he made those remarks at the resource mobilization for small-scale traders affected by a fire tragedy in Garissa County. Kindiki defended the president's decision, noting that the vetting process denied the residents of northern Kenya equal opportunities like the rest of the country.
Abdiaziz Hashim compiled this report.
The Deputy President was leading a resource mobilization exercise for small-scale traders affected by fire tragedy in Garissa. told off Democracy for Citizens Party leader Rigathi Gachagua over his recent remarks that the government decision to abolish the vetting process for the residents of Northeastern region was mischievous and aimed at the 2027 general election.
Mimi nimesikia kuna watu wanadharau wananchi wengine, aidha kwa misingi yao ya dini au misingi ya mahali wamezaliwa. Hao viongozi tunawaambia waheshimu viongozi na wananchi wa Kenya.
Wanasema ati sababu wa Somali wamepewa kitambulisho na wanapata passport, eti hadhi ya passport ya Kenya inashuka.
Kindiki saying the president made the decision to ensure the residents of Northeastern access services like other Kenyans.
Ama mtu kutoka sehemu ya kaskazini mwa Kenya kupata kitambulisho ilikuwa gharama kubwa. Utaratibu ambao ulikuwa unatumiwa ulikuwa mrefu na ulikuwa na ubaguzi, kwa sababu maswali ambao anaulizwa mtu wa kutoka hapa Garissa sio maswali ambayo inaulizwa Wakenya wengine kutoka sehemu zingine.
Sisi hasa ni kama tumepata uhuru katika uongozi wa William Ruto.
Hatuna ukabila, tunataka tuendelee pamoja. Ni kweli si kweli?
Leaders who attended the event rallying the residents of Garissa to support the administration ahead of the polls.
Garissa and the Northern Kenya is part of this country. Na yule anataka kushindana na William Ruto hakuna shida. Wewe jitayarishe, funga viatu, tutaonana na wewe. Wale wote wanakubaliwa.
During the tour, the Deputy President inspected the upgrading of the Garissa airstrip at a cost of 710 million shillings, which includes an input of 110 million shillings from the county government of Garissa. Kindiki further says the new Tana River Bridge and approach roads along Ukasi-Garissa-Modiga roads connecting Garissa Town and Tana River County being constructed for 1.7 billion shillings.
Kutoka Dadaab yende pale kunaitwa Kulan, kutoka Kulan yende Liboi, itoke Liboi yende Harahar. Ni kweli si kweli?
The project is at 55% complete and the new bridge will be ready by December 2025. Abdiaziz Hashim for Prime Edition.
From ID vetting debate to Huduma Customer Service Week, Tom?
That's right. Kenyans have been challenged to apply for their national identity cards and hasten the process of collecting them.
Speaking during the launch of the Huduma Customer Service Week in Nairobi, Public Service CS Geoffrey Ruku said there was a backlog of vital documents lying uncollected in Huduma centers across the country.
Here's that report.
We are calling upon all Kenyans who have applied for IDs and passports and driving licenses and other documents. Please go to your nearest Huduma center where you made your application, correct your ID, correct your driving license, correct your passport. We have so many passports which are uncorrected, so many IDs which are not corrected. The entire of this week, we want to dedicate ourselves to giving Kenyans the best of ourselves in our offices, wherever we are. We are also encouraging all those who are in public service, please take some time, register for training with the Kenya School of Government so that you can be taught how to offer excellence service to Kenyans who come to your office, wherever you are.
Residents of Busia County have rejected the proposal to amend the constitution through a parliamentary initiative.
Speaking at a public hearing in Busia town, the residents said that any proposed amendment to the constitution must be subjected to the referendum.
The residents told senators on Monday that some of the proposals contained in the constitution of the Kenya Amendment Bill 2025 are ill-advised and do not seek to serve the interests of Kenyans.
And you bless your name.
As the Senate Mashinani kicked off in Busia County on Monday, senators sought the opinion of Kenyans regarding the latest push to amend the Constitution of Kenya through a parliamentary initiative.
Na tuko kwa ground. So don't feel intimidated. Tell us the truth so that we ask these questions on your behalf.
We want the money for the MP to be shown, the money for the MCA to be shown, the money for the national government to be shown, the money for the women rep to be shown. Where they are duplicating, we clean that out.
The government-sponsored bill, however, received mixed reactions as residents questioned who it's meant to benefit.
But the question in the room is it going to benefit you or is it going to benefit this individual? We have seen many amendments done in the National Assembly. But if you are keen, they are after them, not you as a public.
Lakini kama housing for example, watu walisema nini? No. Na ilifanya namna gani? Inapitishwa. Na hakuna mwenye alipinga huko juu. That is why inasema vitu ya whipping hii. Ati mnakuwa whipped na mkubwa apati na nyote mnanyoroshwa. Hiyo ni kitu mbaya sana. We have to think about these things.
The proposal to amend the constitution through parliament as proposed in the bill was met with criticism as residents called for a referendum.
Na kama referendum ilifanywa, ndio tutoke kwa ile katiba ambayo tuliwacha nyuma mzee, tukaingia kwa hii. Bwana tusitumie huo mpangilio, ndipo kura itolewe.
The residents, however, welcomed the proposal to have the Senate vet state officers and participate in the budget making process.
Angalia, unaona vile ni parliament peke yake ile ya MPs ndio inapitisha mambo. Unaona hata vetting yenye inafanyika pale vile mmesema vetting ifanyike huko na ifanyike huko. Mnaangalia hata mtu ameshindwa hata kusema kitu, hata mtihani hajapita, lakini hata amepitishwa. Si watu tunaona vitu kama hizo. So vitu kama hivi tunaangalia tunasema are they serious? Na sisi tuko huko tunaona.
The residents lauded the establishment of the County Assembly Fund, saying its financial autonomy will enable ward representative to efficiently oversight the county executive.
Unapata kwamba wakati vitu zimegwama pale executive, wao pia wanagwama.
Other proposals include the creation of special seats to show up members in parliament. This is the first public participation exercise on the bill, with more engagements lined up to ensure a broad disclosure on the proposed amendments. This being yet another attempt to amend the constitution, residents in Busia County have called upon the Senate to consider formulating laws that are for the betterment of all Kenyans and not for just the legislature. For Prime Edition from Busia County, I'm Gladys Mungai.
From referendum and parliament, back here to studio. Many thanks indeed, Gladys, for that report. I promised that we are in studio with the chair of the Private Schools Association, Mr. Charles Ochome. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. It's good to see you again. And you'll tell me the secret of aging backwards. but let's start. The World Teachers' Day was observed yesterday. And I believe you are part of the stakeholders and you are in attendance. The first question I want to ask, I was doing a bit of maths. It's now 61 years since we became a republic. What is the significance of such, a celebration? And what would be the gains that we have made ever since we became independent?
Thank you so much. I think that's a very open-ended question, and I think a very good one to be able to reflect back from independence in the 60s to date. What is it that we have done as a country? And I think there's so many milestones one can count on. One, you realize at independence we did not have so many trained teachers in our republic, and I think there was that effort by the government to open up so many training colleges, and that improved the quality of teachers we have. More higher institutions of learning came up, and therefore it means we have very well-trained teachers who now you find even at high school level, at times primary teachers with PhD. That means we have made serious milestones. I'll reflect back in the 60s, 70s, was a young boy when we used to write on slates. Now, learning is very advanced. We have teachers using smart boards and all that it counts to make learning easy. They don't struggle like we used to write on slates. They can content can be relayed with ease using the technology that we have at the moment. And therefore, I think a lot has happened, a lot has taken place.
Yeah.
If you were lucky to learn in the 80s or partly 70s, the kind of chairs as pupils would sit on, even in high school, were not very appropriate as it is now. And you know, when things are not in very good shape, they make learning not enjoyable. It was more or less an endurance. I think maybe that's why the old generations are people who can endure so much. But I think things have been made easier. Teacher in class, we say spaces for their work has been improved in brief.
Okay.
Yeah, we have very, very improved classrooms, well painted, well lighted. We do not have electricity in most of the schools. Those are now things we have in school. So I think the list can be endless to say what gains we have had since independence in this country. So it was worth a celebration to celebrate those gains and the immense improvement in the caliber of teachers we have at the moment.
Okay, there are those who would say, fair enough, you know, there has been that evolution, movement from the old sort of way of learning to the modern way of learning, where we're even seeing incorporation of tech, all right? But the job of teaching remains the same and the teachers remain the same. So what would be the challenges that you would point out, you know, as being being some of the bottlenecks that teachers in that profession have experienced, you know?
You know, we were taught to not to critically think. We were taught what the system wanted us to know. We don't call them teachers so much now, of course. There's no way you can replace the word teacher, but we call them facilitators. We want students to critically think out of a problem and come up with solutions. And a teacher becomes a facilitator to make that happen. These are changes that have taken place that I would say one can talk of. Yeah. Okay.
All right, probably we'll come back a bit later so that you just point out what challenges perhaps teachers have had to grapple with. But there's even, you know, we have these reports of delayed capitation for some schools, and I understand that, you know, it's because of some cleanup exercise that, you know, government is going through. But I want to ask you, how ready are schools for the inaugural national JSS examinations that are forthcoming?
In my view, there would be no reason why exams would not take place in the way they should have taken because of delayed capitation. Delayed capitation is not salaries for teachers. These are recurrent expenses in schools. Of course, we have schools that are run, boarding schools, and we have day schools, and this money helps to run the school. The teachers' salaries, as far as I'm concerned, has not been delayed. I think the CS was very categorical yesterday about delayed capitation, and he said that numbers were not adding up. So the high schools have sent them the numbers, the primary schools, but they have to verify. And I think he said the schools that they have verified, they have already capitated.
Yeah.
But the ones that are they going on with, they will capitate. Of course, don't want to get deeper into that because it is the ministry knows why they cannot verify that at the source, because we also have ministry officials at that level. But that is something for them to talk about. As far from where I sit, that's what the CS said. And I think I would give that as the reason.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Let's stay with the ministry and by extension the government. You know, it has its own form and style of hiring teachers. So, from your vantage point as the chair of the Private Schools Association, what impact do you think that process of government hiring teachers has on the private schools?
Yeah, the government is a bigger brother when it comes to employment opportunities, because it's the one who holds the box that holds all the money in the country, and when they release it, everybody has it, and when they want to hire, they can be, obviously there would be a preference to many teachers. I think some of them talk of job stability, and that is as per an individual, because some of us have teachers that have worked with us for over 20 years. But I would say that when the government hires teachers, sometimes, most of the time it inconveniences the private sector, because
How so? How does that happen?
Well, no, we wish the teachers well when they join the government. We want them to live good lives if that is how they can get it. But the way is when they hire midstream, when schools are going on, it affects where they are living, because those are also Kenyan students that will be affected, because teachers possibly are living at a time when the lessons were supposed to be going on. So it requires those schools to look for other teachers to replace them. I would suggest that the government has the right to hire the teachers. Labor movement is free in this country. And I think when they hire, they should leave when schools start, when not in the middle of the school, so that they do not interfere with the schools where those teachers who are working.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, because you are very experienced and you're at the apex of the Private Schools Association as chair. We are gearing up for the JSS exams. Are the grade 9 students truly prepared, academically, emotionally, for that transition to grade 10?
I want to bring you back to that. They're not doing exams. This what we call assessment. Exams used to be a crazy thing in this country. And what is going to happen is a transition assessment. All students will move to the next level. So I can assure you that we are very ready, because this assessment did not start, are not going to start with grade 9 exams. And grade 9 exams is just going to be like the grade 6, which was done when they got to grade 7, 8. Now they're going to do grade 9.
So they should not be anxious.
No.
We come from a background of high levels of anxiety. You must pass the exams.
I think,
if you don't.
Yeah. There's an ease where the children should be relaxed, the parents should be relaxed, because all the students will move to the next level, irrespective of whatever assessment they get. In any case, part of it is already done.
All right.
The marks that they scored are already with the neck. Yeah. So it's just going to be a transition. It's a transition.
Okay, finally, before I let you go, what are the collaboration opportunities that you see between government and the private sector? I know earlier on, before we came on air, you spoke about some fund, government partnering with people who are in commercial agriculture and so on, and whether that model can be adapted in the education sector as well. Just in 30 seconds.
Yeah, I think the government can do what we call empowerment to this industry, which I call the private education, which is a big sector in the economy. You say a few seconds, but you see, if you look at the impact of private education in Kenya, is felt all across the country. Yeah. And I think because it gives revenue to the exchequer, it's important for the government to invest into it so that they can get more money.
They can generate.
And how do they do that? They can do an empowerment fund, which can be money which the operatives in the private sector can pay back with some small interest to the government.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. I want to thank you. That's a good place to end it. Thank you very much, Charles Ochome, Chair of the Private Schools Association, and we hope you'll honor another invitation that we will extend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, that was Mr. Charles Ochome. It's now time to take our second break. When we come back, we'll be looking at how the numbers seesawed on the stock market, and at the tail end, we will be getting sporty. Don't go away. We'll be back shortly.
Wiki hii kwenye Mkulima tunaangazia kilimo kutumia mbinu za asili. Kisha jinsi ya kuwafuga ng'ombe, kondoo pamoja na kuku.
Hawa wanyama wako na challenges mingi pia. Kukua na wao inabidi ujipange.
Unabai, unapika, unashiba. Lea Premium.
Lea Premium Flour, nurturing the world. Available in a store near you.
The world of governance is vast and can be alien to the ordinary man on the street.
Critical issues are going to be discussed.
From white papers to policy positions, it is easier to get lost in the labyrinth of words.
Inside Government takes you to key global metropolis where critical decisions are made and where policies are crafted.
We interview policymakers and senior government officials to highlight and enumerate government policies and projects. We take a deep dive into the underbelly of complex red tape to demystify policies across the country, across the world. Join me, O'Brien Kimani, on Inside Government, only on KBC Channel 1.
Thank you for staying with us on Prime Edition. In the world of business, Kenya is establishing a fully functional government-resourced credit rating committee to strengthen engagement with global rating agencies and anchor credit rating management within national economic priorities. National Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi says the Credit Rating Committee will coordinate Kenya's credit rating agenda and promote fiscal credibility in line with the government's economic programs. Here is that report.
National Treasury Cabinet Secretary said the Credit Rating Committee will domesticate Kenya's credit rating agenda, ensuring that it is anchored in the national priorities and sustained by the country's institutional capacity. Mbadi says credit rating is key in determining the cost of borrowing for developing economies and called for transparent, consistent communication and coordinated engagement with global credit rating agencies.
We have looked at all those statistics, all the indicators that should be used to judge or credit rates a sovereign, and we don't see why Kenya cannot move to that level. It's only that now we don't have a coordinated effort to put our story across. And we are not asking for any favor here. We are asking for transparency. We are asking for facts. We are asking for information to be made available. And that is what this agency committee will do.
Mbadi says Kenya's recent credit ratings improvements reflect the benefits of fiscal reforms such as the Finance Act 2025, which boosted tax compliance and investor confidence.
This is the first time that we have the narrower spread between the yield in our bonds compared to the software rates. It is the narrowest, it's the smallest rate, which means if the Fed rate was lower than what it is today, we would be paying much less in terms of our bonds. So Kenya has done very well, in my view. So what now we need to do is to keep giving the positive image of Kenya as it should be to the international market and to every other player who wants to invest in this country, so that we can get cheaper resources, cheaper financing coming to the country.
From Mombasa County, I am Anne Mburu.
From credit ratings to horticulture trade, Kenya is in talks with 5 key horticulture markets to reduce tariffs on Kenyan goods. Trade Cabinet Secretary Nyanjui says Kenyan goods are subjected to higher tariffs after the country was elevated to middle-income nation, making goods less price competitive in key markets.
Horticulture exports decreased by 20 billion shillings in 2024 after Kenya shipped produce worth 137 billion shillings. The decline was attributed to a stronger shilling and stiff competition. Trade Cabinet Secretary Nyanjui says Kenya is in talks with 5 key markets, including China, to reduce tariffs on Kenyan goods.
Kenya being a mid-level country is a decision we made a few years back, which also had implications. And the implication is that our entry into certain markets attracts taxes that are not there for the LDCs. So what we are doing currently is to negotiate with specific countries, like in the case of China, for example, so that we have a bilateral that allows us to enjoy the same benefits. So that can be remedied at the bilateral level.
To reduce reliance on European, Asian, and American markets, the common market for Eastern and Southern African member states are being challenged to explore ways of boosting trade among themselves to create more market and protect the bloc from the current global trade wars.
If it is possible to please somebody in the European Union with a bunch of flowers, it should be possible to please somebody within the Comesa region with a bunch of flowers. After all, Valentine is Valentine, you know.
Comesa member states are keen on enhancing collaboration in phytosanitary training to minimize training costs and improve quality of horticulture produce.
Phytosanitary issues is among the key challenges that is facing small-scale farmers in their export quest. Member states are being encouraged to train more farmers on the EU standards and attract new markets.
COMESA's mandate, as enshrined in our treaty, places market access and trade facilitation at the heart of regional integration. Our current medium-term strategic plan for the period 2021 to 2025 prioritizes deepening regional markets, enhancing competitiveness, and promoting inclusive, sustainable economic growth.
The trade relations between 2 very important blocs, the EU and the COMESA region, and as already mentioned by the previous honorable speakers, it is very much aligned with standards, with compliance with sustainability regulation, making sure that the regulatory framework, that the harmonization of the regulatory framework is there, making sure that there is intra-African regional trade and regional integration in line the African continental free trade area.
They were speaking in Nairobi during the ongoing 24th COMESA Summit. Benson Rioba reporting for Prime Edition.
Kenyans should embrace locally made products for the country to achieve a multiplier effect in international markets. This was the rallying call at the ongoing 24th Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, Heads of State and Government Summit. Here is that report.
Kenya targets to double the manufacturing sector's contribution to the gross domestic product from 7.6% in 2024 to 15% by 2027. Some of the suggested ways of achieving this is by increasing uptake of locally made products.
To Kenyans out there, I would say we don't need to source internationally for premium products. We have them here locally, and they can visit us and see what we have to show.
Kenya, we have the best coffee in the world. Our coffee, it's the one that breeds other coffees in the whole world. The aroma, the taste, the calls, and all the coffees, and that's why our Kenyan coffee is very expensive.
Summits such as the 24th COMESA Heads of State and Government bring together players across the spectrum, including MSMEs looking to make an impact through networking into continental and global value chains.
The challenges, it's about getting into the market, and also clients trusting our products that they are natural and that they are good for their skins. In this conference, we know we are meeting different businesses from different countries, and we know that we will network, of course, and grow together.
Away from the busy plenary halls of the main conference, the COMESA Summit seeks to enhance uptake of products by MSMEs across borders.
I can tell those that want to be part of events like this
to be up to date with the market trends, and they should also do research and engage in groups like Made in Kenya so that they are not passed by with opportunities like the COMESA, which is an opportunity to reach the wider East Africa market.
Over 300 exhibitors from across the region are showcasing their products, sharing innovations, promoting trade and forging partnerships. Alan Oko, Prime Edition.
Onto a story compiled by Ndutamo Kami. As the country gears up for Utamaduni Day, the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Investments has opened an art and exhibition showcase at its Teleposta Towers offices in Nairobi, a move that seeks to integrate local artisans into the broader national trade agenda. Trade Principal Secretary Regina Ombam says the initiative complements the government's drive to diversify the economy by promoting cultural exports and creative entrepreneurship as new sources of income and employment.
There are many things that go to it. The language, the food, the products that you have really speak to your culture in itself. So Kenya is actually moving towards ensuring that our products are competitive, our products are of value, and we are going out of our way to really showcase what Kenya can do. And it's not only in the traditional products that we've been doing, the teas, the coffee, the flowers, but we are moving to even services, looking at our sports, looking at our art, looking at our digital tech people, and really looking at the whole thing of trade, not only in goods, but also in services, and capitalizing on our cultural heritage and our understanding of culture and heritage to really push the trade agenda beyond just goods only.
Saccos are stepping up sensitization of members to empower them make prudent investment and financial decisions. Baraka Yetu Sacco Finance Officer Nelly Mitoko says the trainings are also a platform to get feedback from members as well as explain new products being rolled out. Mitoko says the Sacco is exploring how to capitalize to effectively serve members.
The reason why we are undertaking this training is because we want to empower our members on how to diversify their investment so that they will be able to support our Sacco by giving us more deposits.
You can be registered through the system, you can be able to save through the system, and you can be able to get the loan through the system.
What the society needs to do is just to educate its members more, though it's doing through the virtual meetings and even MEDs, Members Education Days.
For that update in the world of business. Now let's get sporty. The national soccer team Harambee Stars have wrapped up their final training session ahead of their crucial FIFA World Cup 2026 qualifiers against Burundi and Ivory Coast. The team is set to face Burundi in Bujumbura on Thursday before traveling to Abidjan to play African Championships. Ivory Coast, that's next week. Head coach Benny McCarthy expressed confidence in the team's readiness, saying that the players are in high spirits and determined to secure victories in both matches. Kenya currently sits in 5th place in the group with 9 points, 11 points behind leaders Ivory Coast. With the qualifiers nearing their final stages, the Harambee Stars are focused on giving their very best performances in the remaining fixtures, hoping to improve their standing in the group and keep their World Cup dream alive.
We're not here to do favors for anyone, so for us, we go in there to play a match against a team that we want to win. We want to earn 3 points, and that's our task, our objective. And for us to lose, we have to lose to a team that we knew we had no opportunities, no possibilities of winning the game. That's the only way.
I believe it's another opportunity also still to rebuild the squad, to get exposure, at this level, because the fixtures for us, they are dead rubber clashes, but we still want to have a positive impact on the last two games.
From football, let's move over to athletics, and over 400 athletes have confirmed their participation in the inaugural Roysambu United Mazingira cross country set for the 10th of October, Friday, at the Kasarani Open Grounds in Nairobi, Kenya. Athletics Kenya Nairobi region will use the event to select its team for the National Cross Country Championship set for Eldoret on the 25th of this month.
Athletes will compete in the 10-kilometer senior men and women and the 8-kilometer and 6-kilometer junior men and women races, as well as races for kids and the elderly, with the registration set to conclude on the 8th of this month.
We are raising funds for education. So we have different pillars within our organization. We have education as one of them and environmental sustainability as another one. So we are combining these two pillars so that we can have the same day, we can have them on the same day. So we are raising funds that will go to help children in Roysambu who are not able, they're underprivileged, who are not able to raise something to be able to go to school.
Winners of the 10-kilometer races will receive 40,000 shillings, 25,000 shillings for the first runners-up, and 15,000 shillings for the second runners-up. 8-kilometer and 6-kilometer junior men and women winners will be rewarded with 10,000 shillings each, while winners of the 10-kilometer in the community category will pocket 12,000 shillings each.
October is also the Cancer Awareness Month. We'll be holding a medical camp for women with regards to cancer awareness for cervical cancer and breast cancer. We also do financial inclusivity awareness. We've held quite a number of talks with various groups, the youth, Boda guys, people who are able to bring together, pull together their funds and do something meaningful with their money.
Athletics Kenya Nairobi region, who have sanctioned the race, will use the race to select a team for the National Cross Country Championship set for Eldoret on the 25th of this month, where AK will identify the athletes who will represent the country in next year's World Cross Country Championship set for Tallahassee, United States.
Bidco United have moved up to the 4th position on the FKF Premier League table after beating Nairobi United 1-0 in the only game played today. Hamangala scored the only goal of the game in the second minute as Bidco recorded their second consecutive win of the new season. Bidco are now tied on 6 points with third-placed Gor Mahia or Kogalo and the 5th-placed KCB, and are just 1 point behind leaders Shapana Football Club and Posta Rangers. Nairobi United remain 13th on the table with just 3 points. Bidco will face Kakamega Homeboys in their next fixture on the 15th of this month, while Nairobi United will next play Tunisia's Sahel Etoile in the CAF Confederation Cup preliminary round on 18th of this month. Kianyaga Football Club has secured their spot in the final of this year's edition of the Minji Minji Cup after the nail-biting penalty shootout over Kiburu FC. The match, played at the packed Mboya GK Prison grounds, ended in a 1-1 draw during regulations time, setting the stage for a tense penalty shootout. In the end, Kianyaga Football Club held their nerve, edging out Kiburu FC from the spot to book their place in the grand finale. They will now await the winner of the second semi-final between Kiamaina Football Club and Kaideri Football Club, with the final showdown set to take place at Wanguru Stadium this Sunday. At stake in the final is the grand prize of 1.5 million Kenyan shillings for the champions, while the second-placed team will walk away with $1 million bob. The third and fourth-placed finishers will earn 750,000 and 500,000 respectively. Governor Anne Waiguru Minji Minji Cup has grown into one of Kenya's most impactful Grassroots tournament, not only nurturing local talent, but also changing lives across the country.
Tumejaribu sana kwa timu 160, at least kwa tumebaki timu 4, tunajaribu kupigana, at least tuone kama tutafika final, na tumeshukuru sana. Ni hiyo determination ndio imetufikisha hapa.
Na tumekuwa na teams over 200 teams. Tulikuwa na teams za boys na teams za women teams, na we have been progressing very well. Na hii tournament imetusaidia sana juu tulikuwa na campaign ya against drug and substance abuse.
African representatives, Morocco, South Africa and Nigeria have qualified for the last 16th stage of FIFA Under-20 World Cup ongoing in Chile. South Africa will play Colombia after beating United States of America 2-1 in their final group game last night, while Nigeria will meet Argentina after being held to a 1-1 draw by Colombia in their third and final group game earlier today morning.
Again, Villarreal touched off wonderfully, and in! Kene Gonzalez has finally come to the party for Colombia. Out on towards Salihu. Chance here, Maigana! Oh, they've hit the frame of the goal again! 3 times now in one game. Clear of Mosquera, still with work to do, laying it back for Maigana. And now Nigeria are asking for a handball. Penalty for Nigeria. Can he succeed again when Nigeria need him the most? Yes, he can! Nigeria back on terms!
Reigning AFCON champions at this level, South Africa meet the USA in Group E of the FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Chile. Oh, and then in front of him to bury the header. Oh! My word! He's already a star in his homeland and will be globally very soon. Now April, there's that pace I was talking about earlier. Cutback's great and South Africa lead. Whoa, yes!
Argentina and Italy, 2 giants of the game, meet in a Group D decider that carries the weight and wonder of a showpiece occasion. Rizzo shifting it wide, and Dino finding Soler on the overlap. Goodness me, how close was that? Gorosito. Still Gorosito! Argentina coming into this with 2 wins, qualification assured, but no holding back, and what a goal that is from Dylan Gorosito. He sliced through that Italian back line. Italy will join Argentina in the knockout phase.
And that's the sports. I almost asked you what game you played when you were young.
Let's not go that direction. So.
All right. Well, we have to go now.
Yes, thank you.
You want to read something?
Thank you for your time, and your feedback always appreciated on our social media platforms. And very key on the item on the youth in KBC County to benefit from the Nyota program, though we have had quite a number of clusters, quite impressive.
A lot of feedback as well.
Yes, mixed reactions. Yeah. And we do appreciate your feedback and company. Silas Wanjala, Sumbi watching all the way from Kisi. Yeah. James Masha watching from Kiambu. Arnold Momanyi watching from Naivasha. We can go on and on and
until
on.
the breakers dawn. It's 10 minutes past 10. We have to leave now. Thank you for watching. On behalf of Prime Edition team, we'll be back again tomorrow. My name is Mboya. Good night from Nairobi, Kenya.
I am Muchuma Odim. Our sign language expert tonight is Byron Abule. Good night. God bless you. Bye.
Tushinde.com. Cheza safe, cheza smart. Gambling is addictive. Not for persons under the age of 18 years.
Sasa kwa star 419 hash uko na game mpya. Tushinde spin corner. Simply spin. Kisha ngoja, na kwa entry moja unaweza angukia na uspin hadi mara 3 na ikigonga 25